Hello, in this video I want to answer the question from my perspective of quality over quantity, or the other way around. I personally think that the quantity is many times more important than the quality, given a certain level or a certain experience set as a basis. This video right now is recorded on an iPad in portrait mode, so I use the keyboard to keep it in place. I lean a little back so I'm not so high on the camera, and on the other hand I'm using a Rode lav mic connected with a wireless Go. For me, many times in the past I would always go for the quality, and that led for me to perfectionism, and at the end led to not getting things done. And I would say that hold me back a lot of times in my life, and it would probably hold back a lot of people too. Therefore, nowadays I recommend done is better than perfect. And also, especially when you want to learn something, it's unfortunately about the quantity you put out. Whether it's going to be videos, it's going to be repetitions. I mean, who would expect Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan to be good in basketball if they would just take a few shots and they need to be perfect and that's all? And on the other hand, it's always what are you training on right now? So when you have basketball training, for example, you are not making just games and training and practice. You are doing games, you are doing exhibitions with like 3-point shootouts, etc., etc. So you train specifically certain tasks, and on the other hand you also train the whole thing every once in a while. But since the small details can be added later by yourself in a second practice, it is also important to get the small details done. Like right now, making the audio work, making the light work. I'm using an Aperture MC, I'm having the Rode, etc., etc. Do I have enough charge on my iPad right now? I don't know. I totally forgot to check that. So if that video drops out in between, that's my bad, because I was not properly prepared. But by recording more often on an iPad, you probably realize the constraints of an iPad, charging status, etc. Because if the microphone is plugged in, I have no option to charge it with the smart keyboard which I'm using. Would be different with a Magic Keyboard, but I'm not sure if I can place it like this right now. When it comes to other activities, note-taking, Notions, Roam, whatever you use, just take notes. How fancy it's going to be and how beautiful it's going to be, that's the second step. If you learn driving, learn parking, yeah, please don't scratch other cars, but you need to get the reps done. And we've seen that today in a lot of conversations I had today again about the repetitions and how patience is so important. Gary Vaynerchuk said it in a video, that people listen to what he's saying, but they are not patient. They do want the instant success. Or I had a conversation today with a friend of mine out of the PDYA, and he was saying, yeah, I was expecting like having Ali Abdaal's success in a certain period to get the money in, but not keeping in mind that there's reps needed. And Ali was lucky with having not so many reps needed to get a certain volume of success. But on the other hand, for the rest of us, if you want to put more effort in, you will probably reap more rewards on it. But if the extra effort is stopping you from getting anything out there, you probably might end up doing the mistakes you could have done on the reps and doing it on your masterpiece. And we've seen that sometimes, like in bigger projects like bridges who are too short for the gap they have to close. Or you see that on, for example, on buildings where doors are not fitting, where the floor is not fitting, where devices are not fitting in kitchens which are built. I mean, I've seen it in my restaurants I'm responsible for, where you have a clear plan and then there's 2 centimeters missing. And no one ever tried, does it work? I mean, to put those things together. And sometimes even you have companies who try it for the first time to build restaurants, and they are wondering like, oh, it's a different ball game. So for me, I would say quantity over quality. And there's this example which Ali is bringing every once in a while with a pottery class example, where it's like you have two classes. One is doing one pottery masterpiece as their first pottery piece, and the other one is doing 30 pieces, so one piece every day. It's a 30-day challenge. And most definitely, I mean, we could imagine that the class is doing 30 pieces is probably ending up with a better piece, and that was the fact out of this experiment. Please Google the backgrounds on it. I've just heard it from Ali Abdaal. If you want to go deeper, Google will help, or any other search method you want to prefer there. But yeah, that's the take on it. Quality comes partially automatic. By doing the right things, you are getting better. Gannon Baker, he's a basketball coach, he said once, best practice makes perfect. And perfectionism by itself, it's just takes a lot of energy. Pareto, 80% of your work contribute only for 20% of your result, etc., etc. But go the small step way, see where the success is, see where you are lacking things, work on those things. And there's this other saying which I really like, is success is a lousy teacher. And if success is a lousy teacher, then you should probably go and embrace the mistakes and the failures you make and move forward from this. Like right now, this video is a perfect example of making mistakes. My eyes had been off the camera a few minutes ago, a few times. I realized it. And now I have two options. I can scrape the whole video, go out of this video with a negative experience, or I will use this video, I will upload the video, and I can benefit from this one repetition to be sure to look at the right spot using an iPad in vertical mode, because it's the first time I'm doing it. I'm not properly used to it because I'm usually looking a little off center, because in horizontal you have the camera on one side. And at this time right now, there's a learning, and now I'm looking at you. If you consider this being valuable to you, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be more videos like this, and I will try to squeeze a video here and here, or probably it's going to be there, and I try not to put something in my face. And there we'll talk more about having fun going to work, about experiences and learnings I have at work. But on the other hand, I will also talk about the gear I'm using. That might be just headphones, like this Bang & Olufsen H95. I think one of the best headphones out there. Please buy them used. They are crazy expensive if you buy them new. AirPods Max are cheap. And about the AirPods Pro, about my SanDisk, or even just about the Logitech MX Master 3, which is my favorite mouse because it reduces my pain on my wrist. About the Apple Watch, whatever it's going to be. If you enjoyed, stay tuned and leave a like. Have a great one. See you next time.